Let me see your faces. Isabella, where did you go? Okay, so today we're going to talk about your end of year project. We've come to the end of 2020, almost a few more weeks to go. And I always like to assign students a special project. Usually it's a film project, and this year is not going to be any different. So your special project for this year is going to be a short film. And you're going to use Zoom or Skype or WhatsApp video or whatever you want to create a short film. Because it's only a few of us in this class, your film is going to be a dialogue or a conversation between three, because we're going to have two groups of twos and one group of three, because it's only 7 students. So I want you to get something where you can write, and you're going to write down some of the topics that I'm suggesting for you. Your film is going to last at least 2 minutes. It can be longer, but it cannot be shorter than 2 minutes. And it can either be a comedy or it can be horror, okay? Comedy or horror. And these are the topics. Oh, it's going to be for, the date you need to turn that in is November 17th. And you're going to send it to the email, not upload it to YouTube, because I'm going to take all of them and I'm going to make one film that I'm going to send, then upload to YouTube. Okay?
November 17.
November 17th. Yeah, that's the date that you need to turn that in. So you film it on your phone or on your computer with your partner. And then you send me that. Because remember that in Zoom you can record it. You send me that, and then I'm going to compile all of them together and make one presentation that's going to be the Advanced Oral Skills class movie night, and then we're going to watch all of them together. Okay, people, these are the topics. Remember to write down November 17th and start thinking about who you're going to work with, because we're going to have 2 groups of 2s and 1 group of 3. Kenyon. Why is Kenyon in this class? Okay, 2 groups of, oh, he's gone. 2 groups of 2s and 1 group of 3. So start thinking about who you're going to work with. Now, remember I told you these are going to be dialogues. And some of my suggestions, you don't have to follow these suggestions. These are just to give you an idea. Some of the suggestions of dialogues are: 1, a conversation between a doctor and a patient. Remember, we are doing comedy or horror, so write this down. 1, a conversation between a doctor and a patient. 2, you're out on a date for the first time. The first time you're out on a date with this person. Number 3, you are ordering food. So during this time, a lot of us, we would have to order food from wherever using the phone. So you're ordering food, and the person is not understanding what you're telling them, of course. Number 3, a 911 call. Number 4, you're asking for directions. I'm going to repeat, don't worry. Number 5, your computer is damaged and you're calling the call center to ask for somebody to help you repair it. Number 7, you're trying to have a conversation with your deaf grandma or grandpa, but they can't hear you too well. And the last one, a detective is interrogating a murder suspect. These are just ideas, okay? A conversation between a doctor and a patient, 2 persons out on a date for the first time, somebody calling to order food, a 911 call, you're asking for directions. You're speaking to a call center trying to get someone to help you repair your computer. You're trying to have a conversation with your deaf grandma or grandpa. And you're a detective interrogating a murder suspect. Okay, one more. This is a short movie that you're going to create. You can use Zoom or you can use Skype. Using Zoom is easy. All you have to do is just, you know how to do this. Schedule a meeting with the person in your group and record it. And then you send me that recording. It has to be at least 2 minutes, but not very long. 2 minutes is good. And it can be either a comedy or horror movie. Okay, and the date to turn that in is November 17th. Okay, so groups. Tell me about your groups. Let's start with you, Tomas. Who are you going to work with? Pick people that you can actually work with because this is a movie and both of your faces has to be on the screen at all times.
Sean.
Okay, so Tomas is going to work with Sean. Okay,
Teacher,
yes?
I'm going to work with Daniela.
Okay. Daniela and Daniela, that's cute. Daniel and Daniela. And people, next week, you're going to give me an idea of your topic. Okay? You don't have to tell me everything, but give me an idea. Remember, this is going to be comedy or horror. And so the rest of you are going to be the group of 3. Okay? So that means Isabella, Janice, and Diego are going to be the 3rd group. Okay, Janice, we're going to make movies. And I already gave the topics for the movies, but I'm going to do it again and again. We're going to use Zoom or Skype to create a short movie, a short film. It's going to be at least 2 minutes. And you're going to record it, of course. And it's the date to turn it in is November 17th. It's going to be a dialogue or a conversation. In your case, it's going to be between the 3 of you, Isabella, Janice, and Diego. The topics I'm suggesting that you don't have to follow, this is just so you get an idea. It can be a conversation between a doctor and patient, people out on a date for the first time, you're ordering food, a 911 call, you're asking someone for directions, you're speaking to a repair person at a call center. You're trying to have a conversation with your deaf grandma or grandpa. And you're a detective interrogating a murder suspect. Okay, November 17th. Now, each one of you ask me 2 questions that you might have about this before we continue with our class. Ask me 2 questions. Each person, 2 questions. Two questions. Oh, come on, people. Everybody understood everything that you need to do. Come on, ask me 2 questions. Okay, ask me 1 question then. No questions. Okay, so the groups are Tomas and Sean, Daniel and Daniela, Isabella, Janice, and Diego. November 17th, horror or comedy. You can use Zoom or you can use Skype or whatever else you want to use. You're going to send that to the email. It must be english@gmail.com. Do not upload it to YouTube. I'm going to compile all of it and I will upload it. Just send me the short film. Okay, good. So in today's class, we're going to talk about the dangers of social media. I have a perspective that's very different from the one that most people have. But I'm not going to try to give you my perspective. I want to hear yours. So what we're going to do that I'm going to share 2 pictures with you. And I'm going to give you a few minutes to think about what you're seeing in the picture. And then each one of you is going to tell me what you feel or what you understand or what the person is trying, what the message the person who drew the picture is trying to portray. Okay? So let's do this. Each one of you has to speak. I hope you understand that, people. Okay, first let me close this. There we go. That's the first picture. As you can see, it's somebody's hands, and the hands is full of pills, and the pills are actually have little social media logos on them. So take about 1 minute. I'm gonna time you, and look at what this has, and tell me what you think the message is. 1 minute starts now. I'll tell you when your 1 minute is up. Just look at it carefully and try to figure out what exactly is the message this person is trying to portray. Okay, the minute is up. Let's start with you, Daniel Guillen. What did you get from this picture? What did you understand?
Well, I understand that the pills or the social media that are there, I think that is like a form to get out from this world, like disconnecting from the world. Like you are going to stay there like 5, 8 hours. Some people are like that just requires attention.
Mm. Okay.
And because you think that if you want to be happy, you have to be, the people have to say things about you, don't judge you, we can say.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sean?
Teacher, my dad is in a meeting and he talked loud.
Okay. Isabella?
Okay. So I think that my mind is very damaged. So I think that he's gonna eat all the pills and he's gonna kill herself. Why? Because all of the social media is full of toxic people and they are telling bad things to him or her and she just can't.
Okay. Tomas?
I think the artist was trying to represent one of these two things. He was either trying to represent addiction or normal medication, because you know, some people just wake up and the first thing they do is open Twitter or something like that. It's really similar to drug addiction, or what I mean by medication is that you open at least one time a social media app. So it's very similar to the pills you take, etc.
Good. Janice?
It's the same as Thomas said, that they are addictive as a drug, like a drug.
Okay. Daniela?
Well, basically, is the same that Thomas and Janice said before, because the image is clearly telling something like that. When a person is obsessed with something, like pills, any type of pills, even if are medications that can help them or bad things, they take it all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the social medias are the same.
Yeah. Sean, is your dad still? Okay.
I also think the same as Tomas, Janice, and Daniela, because the picture is easily saying you that the girl or the boy have an addiction, and that addiction is the social medias.
Okay. So we're going to look at the second picture. And again, I'm going to give you 1 minute. Look at this. Think about the message, what the person who drew it is trying to portray. Look at everything. Look at what the cell phone has in one hand, what it has in the other hand, and all the rest of it. Okay. So, what do you think? Let's start again with Daniel Guillen. What did you think of that drawing?
I think that the social media controls your mind because you'd have to the approbation from the people
Approval.
to be happy, the approval of the people to be happy. You need that the people likes you. You have, if you want to be happy, you need the approval from the people. But if you don't have the approval from the people, you are going to be sad. You can say, because some people can feel that they are useless.
Okay. Sean?
I think that what the picture is trying to say is that the social medias controls you instead of you control them, and that your life depends on social medias in the likes and dislikes.
Tomas?
I think something similar to Sean, that a lot of people now don't have that much control of their lives because of the likes they receive. For example, an introvert going to a mall and taking a selfie, something like that, just to get likes. And the cell phone is controlling the human the same way that humans control the dog.
Janice?
Okay, I don't think the picture was trying to like get show a view of validation. I think it's more what Thomas said, like superiority, domination, fear of them. Because if you see the phone was like carrying the human was carrying a dog, and the dog was carrying a cat, and that's type of superiority, like a Jerarquía. I don't know how to say it in English.
Hierarchy. Hierarchy.
Hierarchy. So I think that what the picture was trying to say.
Okay. The phone had likes in one hand and then the human in the other hand. And the human was carrying the dog and the dog was carrying the cat and the cat was carrying the mouse. So yes, it showed some type of hierarchy and some type of relationship between the attacker or the prey, the victim. Okay, good. Daniela.
I think that the image try to show that people are addicted to technology and that social networks have us hypnotized.
Hypnotized.
Yeah, because basically all that says in social medias or we see and we like it, we want it, or we try to get it or to be the same, like we try to copy that, and that's not correct.
Mm-hmm. Isabella?
So in the image, I see that everyone, that we depend of the cell phone, that all the comments and those things are important to us. So the cell phone control us.
Good. So in that picture that we saw, who's the one that has the ultimate control? Is it the cell phone or the likes?
The likes.
Okay, people, so my question to you is this. Is social media bad? Is it a bad thing?
Sometimes can be bad, but sometimes it's good to the news and things that happen on the world.
Okay, so I'm going to turn the question a little bit. McDonald's, one of the most popular fast food restaurants. But we know that the food is not healthy. So if I eat McDonald's every day and I get sick and fat, whose fault is that? My fault or McDonald's?
Your fault.
Everybody agrees? Is it my fault or is it McDonald's fault?
Yes.
Guess what?
I agree.
You agree with what? Is it my fault or is it McDonald's fault? Whose fault?
Your fault.
Okay, let's talk about beer. Everybody knows that if you drink too much beer, you get drunk and you make really dumb decisions. So if I drink a lot of beer, I went to a party, drank a lot of beer, got drunk, got in my car, had an accident, whose fault is it? Is it the Cervecería Nacional or is it my fault?
My fault.
My fault, right? Okay, one more example. Exercise. Everybody knows exercise is important, but I'm very lazy. I don't want to exercise, never, ever, no. So I eat McDonald's every day, I drink beer every night, and I don't exercise. So when I get sick, I have diabetes, high blood pressure, and a whole lot of other things. Whose fault is that? Society, because they allowed McDonald's and Cervecería Nacional, or is it my fault? My fault? Okay, so let's bring it down to social media. If I spend the entire day on my phone, it's hitting me really, really hard now. If I spend the entire day on my phone, texting, tweeting, selfies, whatever, and I start to get low self-esteem and feelings of depression, and I start wanting to kill myself because I don't have a nice car and I don't have the clothes that the girls have, and I don't get as many likes as other people, whose fault is that? Social media's fault or my fault?
teacher, that is another difference because social media.
Here, you have to speak up because I have a lot of rain. It's raining really hard. Go ahead. Okay, come on, people, talk to me. Whose fault is it? The last scenario that I presented you. Danielle says it's my fault. What do the rest of you say?
I think that it depends on a lot of factors.
Tell me.
I mean, for example, if you have a strong mind, it's definitely your fault. But if you have a weak mind, I think it is social media's fault.
Is it social media's fault that I have a weak mind? Whose fault is it that
I mean, if you have an IQ below room temperature, that's social media's fault.
Okay, but I'm asking you, if I have a low IQ, whose fault is that? Social media's fault? Or my parents who chose the wrong partner to have kids with? Whose fault is that?
I think
My
it is your
parents'
fault.
Okay, what did you say, Sean?
My parents' fault.
Hey, let me tell you a secret. Intelligence is inherited from the mother. So you boys, when it comes time for you to choose a person to have your kids with, go for the person with this. Okay, so yes, Janice, what do you think? The last question is, if I get depressed because of all the things that I'm seeing on social media, and my self-esteem goes all the way down to the floor because I don't have those clothes, I don't have those likes, I don't have that car, and I'm thinking of jumping off a bridge because social media and people are sending me bad messages or whatever, whose fault is that? Is it my fault or is it social media's fault?
My fault. Because I don't have to fault another people's life, and I think it's my problem.
Isabella, why am I seeing the roof in Isabella's house? The ceiling. Come on, Isabella. And now I'm seeing a part of her forehead. Tell me, Isabella, whose fault is it? If I spend a lot of time on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, and I start getting depressed because everybody gets more likes than I do, TikTok, or everybody's video goes viral and mine doesn't, and I don't have their clothes, I don't have their shoes, I don't have their cars, and I'm getting really, really depressed and sad, whose fault is that? Social media or my fault? Isabella, answer me, honey. It's a hard one, isn't it? Because it's really easy to say social media is evil and social media is bad and blah, 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 blah. But is anybody obligated to have a social media account? Did somebody come to your house and get a gun and say, get Instagram or I'm going to shoot you? No. Did you buy a house and they said, well, if you don't have Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, you can't live here? No. So come on, tell me, Daniela, talk to me.
I just came, teacher, but what are you talking about?
I asked,
Uh-huh.
if I have a lot of social media accounts and I'm getting really sad and depressed because everybody has more likes than I do, people on TikTok have more viral videos than I do, they have the cars and the houses and the shoes that I want, but I don't have them. and I keep looking at all these things and I'm getting really depressed and I want to jump off a bridge, whose fault is that? Is it TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, or whatever is fault, or is it my fault?
My fault. Because I'm the one that starts to think why I don't have that, why I don't have that life, and start getting negative vibes. So I'm the one who is letting the social medias get involved with my feelings.
Mm-hmm. Isabel,
I'm not thinking.
and not thinking? What were you saying? And not thinking?
About all the things that I already have.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is your fault because you are not making the content, or you don't have the phone that the people like.
What?
That you're not making the content that the people like the dance, you're not posting the photos that the people like.
Isabella, you don't have to post the photos or make the video that people want. You do what you want. You see, that's the problem.
Yes, but if you do what you want, you're not gonna have likes and views.
What do you need likes and views? That food? Are these people paying your rent? I mean, you see, that's the issue. We keep trying to put the responsibility on social media and everybody's a poor victim. That's not how life works. You're not obligated to have a social media account. If you do, you have to do that under your own risk, just like drinking. If you drink, you have to do that under your own risk. If you go to McDonald's, you know it's a risk you're taking. You have to decide. So a lot of times people are saying, oh yes, social media is bad. Get your kids off social media. It's evil. Social media is just a thing. You decide how you're going to use it, how much time you're going to use it. Is it addictive? So are hamburgers. You've got to be in control. So people, my next question and final question is, how do you get control? How do you get control over social media so it doesn't end up being something addictive? It has the ability to be addictive, but it's not addictive for everybody. So why are there some people who get addicted to it and others that are like, whatever? What's that thing that people have that makes them not become addicted to social?
Okay. Who's gonna talk?
Janice.
Okay. Personal. This is a personal view, but I have to be with my phone because as an introvert person, I have kind of a social anxiety, and I think I have to talk with people by the phone. And I think I need social media because it's really frustrating and I get really stressed when I'm talking to people like face to face. I don't know. So I need social media. And I know I'm kind of addictive to it, but it's because of that, because I really need it.
Can you put your phone down at some point during the day? Can you say like, I don't want to use my phone and go do something else?
Yes, but I will get bored of that thing that I'm doing and I will go back to my phone.
Okay.
Talk to someone.
So getting bored with that thing that you're doing, is that social media's fault? The phone's fault?
No,
or your fault?
it's mine.
Okay, so that's it. There's nothing wrong with that, Janice, as long as you understand that you are responsible. I'm an extreme introvert. I think I'm way more introverted than you are. I don't even want to talk to people on the phone, but I have to because of my job. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's knowing when to put your phone down and saying, nah, I don't want to do that today. Okay, Daniel Guillen, what were you going to say? Okay, that's interesting. That's a lot of hair, Daniel. I want some of your hair.
A diary,
A diary.
like agenda.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, so that would be the strategy you would use.
Yes.
Okay, one more person. Where did Isabella go? Isabella is watching La Rosa de Guadalupe. Isabella, tell me one thing that you can do to control the use of social.
I make my homework.
What?
I make my homework and I get out of social media.
Okay, so you do your homework so you don't have to be on social media all the time. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, that's interesting. Anybody else? One more suggestion of something you can do so that you don't allow social media to just completely suck you in? Daniela, Tomas, Sean? Tomas looks like a gangster. I like the hat. Come on, Daniela, Sean, tell me one more thing that you can do to not become a victim of social.
I don't know. I'm the type of person that get bored easily about being in Instagram and not those things. I'm not obsessed with that.
Okay, so you have other activities that you do.
Yeah, I go with my mom and I start teaching her.
Wow, your mom's lucky. Okay, so people, the essence is this. A lot of times as you go through life, you're gonna have the tendency to want to put the blame on anything and everything for what you're feeling or what you're choosing. In the same way that I need to understand that if I go to McDonald's every day and eat McDonald's every day and drink Coca-Cola 3 times a day and drink beer every night, it's going to have a negative effect. And it's not the fault of McDonald's or Cervecería Nacional or Coca-Cola or any of them. It's my choice. The same thing applies to social media. Social media is just a thing. You are not obligated to be on social media. You're there because you want to. And so it's your decision, and you have the power to decide to put down your phone, or you have the power to decide to spend the whole day on your phone. Either way, it's your decision. Don't never forget that you can choose. You can decide. You have the power to make decisions over the things that you're going to consume, do, eat, whatever. Okay, that's important. So people, please remember, when's the date for this movie project?
November 17.
November 17, and we have 2 groups of 2s, Tomas and Sean, Daniela and Daniela, and the third group is Isabella, Janice, and Diego. Please get in touch with Diego and tell him. It's gonna be a dialogue. Remember, you can use Zoom or you can use Skype or whatever else, and you do not upload it to YouTube. Just send me the video itself. I'm gonna compile all of them and make one happy movie that you're, okay, so very important. In your video, you need to include like a presentation page, right? Where it tells me the names of the person in the group and the name of your movie, okay? And any other nonsense you want to add. But I need you to give me that part where you say the names of the person in your group and the title of the movie. Then we're going to make a happy, big Zoom movie so that next year or the year after that, when all of this is over, we're going to look back at the Zoom movie and say, wow, we actually made a movie using Zoom because we couldn't be in person. Okay, people, it was nice seeing you. I am hungry. See you next time. Bye-bye.